The U-turn is a simple exercise and can be one of the most useful maneuvers in real-world situations. But yet I see so many people that can't even execute a 27-foot U-turn. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 common mistakes that I see when riders try to perform this exercise and how you can fix it. Now let's hop into it. First on the list, not turning your head and eyes. This has to be the most common mistake that I see. Literally every motorcycle instructor hounds on this.
Head and eyes.
The biggest mistake that I see riders making in our class is not turning the head and eyes fast enough or far enough.
So we need to use our vision, so we need to look where we want to go.
Really point your chin. Start to look where you want to go, looking up ahead.
I believe that a proper head turn plus proper eye movement equals success.
Turning your head and eyes will significantly help your U-turn. This will make it a lot smoother. In addition, you want to keep your head and eyes up and look where you want to go. By keeping your head and eyes up, this will naturally keep your balance better. Too many times I see riders looking down at the ground or staring at the cones. By doing this, you're more likely to hit the cones and not complete your U-turn. Another common mistake I see is not using all your space. By coming into the turn and not utilizing all your space, it's just going to make it that much harder. You want to make sure you have the proper wheel placement. Now, when you enter into the U-turn box, you want to stay pretty tight to these cones right here. In the lock and lean course that I took, they taught me to come in at an angle and attack the dead space. This will help you utilize all your space. So now when I enter into the U-turn box, I'm going to start a little bit over here and then come in at an angle and slowly work my way to the edge of this wall. So that way I can turn and utilize all this space. Now, if I ended up entering into the U-turn box and just kept on going straight, I'm going to lose a bunch of real estate. As you can see right here, I'm losing about a whole foot of space, and this is going to make the turn a whole lot harder. That's why proper setup is important. Next on the list, too much speed. You don't want to go too fast. This isn't a race. I like to keep my speed at about 5 to 7 miles per hour. Any faster than that, you really have to lean the bike over, and your turning radius is going to be much wider. Take it nice and slow. If you come into the U-turn and find yourself going too fast, lightly use the rear brake. Never use the front brake when you're doing slow speed maneuvers. When I perform a U-turn, I'm actually slightly dragging the rear brake the entire time. As I said, you want to do this lightly and you don't want to stab the rear brake. Stabbing the rear brake is going to upset the bike's balance and look like this. As you just saw, it makes the bike unstable and it really screwed up my turn. On to the next mistake.
Slow handlebar turn.
When you're executing a U-turn, your handlebar turn has to be quick and smooth. I know I really struggled with this one when I first started practicing. I know one thing that really helped me out with this was speeding up my head and eye turn. Now when you do this, this will naturally make your body want to turn the handlebars to where you're looking. When you're getting ready to turn your handlebars, turn with a purpose. I know it's easy to hesitate, but the quicker you do this, the tighter your turn will be. If you hesitate, your turn isn't going to be as tight. Let's take a look at the difference between a fast handlebar turn and a slow handlebar turn. All right, so now I'm going to come in and do a slow handlebar turn, real slow, and I actually just hit a cone there. So now I'll come in and do a fast handlebar turn. And now I'm all the way over here. I got about a foot over here, so that was about 17-foot U-turn. Now this mistake could be costly. Not staying in the friction zone. It's absolutely crucial to stay in the friction zone while you're doing a U-turn. For those of you that don't know what the friction zone is, it's that sweet spot in your clutch that provides power to the rear wheel. Now, why is this important? Because without power to the rear wheel, your bike's gonna end up falling over. When you're in the friction zone, it doesn't matter how much throttle you give it, whether you're at 2,000 RPMs or 4,000 RPMs, the bike's gonna move nice and smooth. Let me caution you though, you don't want to be revving the crap out of your engine while you're in the friction zone because this is going to cause unnecessary wear to your clutch. For me and my bike, I like to keep it at about 2,000 RPMs because this is enough to not lug the engine and it's not too high to where I'm wearing out the clutch. Now, if you're in the middle of the turn and you get that uh-oh feeling like Robert Simmons says, just simply release the clutch a little bit and the bike will stand back up. Just look at this example from my buddy Finesse the Challenger.
Keep it loaded, see? Trust and believe!
Now, if you're depending on momentum to get you through this turn, that's a bad idea. Let me explain. When you're in the friction zone, you're actually in control of your bike. If you're trying to use momentum, you don't really have much control. For example, if you're in the middle of a turn and a hazard pops out of nowhere, you have to be able to make a controlled stop. By being in the friction zone, you have this control so you can come to a nice smooth stop. With momentum, your motorcycle is going to be a lot less unstable and the chances of dropping your bike increases. That's why I don't use momentum. Now, if you want to learn some more exercises to make you a better rider, check out this playlist right here. As always, this is Jogo with Jogo Motorcycle Adventures, and until next time, ride on.